Joe Biden has exited the race to the White House. He will no longer be running for re-election. Biden has put an end to months of speculation. Biden says, I'm quoting, "While it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down," quote unquote. And the question we are asking tonight on Gravitas is, did Joe Biden really have a choice? Come to think of it, he fell on his own sword. Let's just recap for you what the last few weeks look like and how things really reached this point. On the 27th of June, Biden faced off with former US President and Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump in a debate. Biden's blank stare was caught on camera. When he spoke, Biden lost his chain of thought. He was mumbling, at times freezing. Donald Trump capitalized on this. In fact, at one point, Trump said, and I'm quoting here, "I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either," unquote. There was no excuse for Biden's disastrous performance. On the 2nd of July, Lloyd Doggett became the first Democratic congressman to publicly call for Biden to step down from the race. And over the next few days, big Democratic donors, including the Netflix co-founder Reed Hastings, were calling on Biden to drop out of the race. And this gave ammunition to the president's critics, who were pointing the finger at Biden's age and questioning his ability to run for re-election. Biden's campaign arranged interviews for the president with the aim to show that what happened at the debate was a one-off. But Biden's answers in those interviews did not help the cause. For example, Biden told ABC, and I'm quoting here, "If the Lord Almighty came down and said, 'Joe, get out of the race,' I would get out of the race. The Lord Almighty is not coming down," quote unquote. This was on the 5th of July. At this point in time, Biden had absolutely no margin for errors, but the president's public appearances continued to be disastrous. On the 11th of July, Biden called Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky President Putin.
And now I want to hand it over to the President of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. He's going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Anyway, Mr. President.
I'm better.
You are a hell of a lot better.
You see, for years now, Biden has been mixing words, names, countries. He has previously called Ukrainians Iranians. He has confused living leaders with the dead. He has confused French President Emmanuel Macron with France's François Mitterrand, who died in 1996. He has twice confused former German Chancellor Angela Merkel with Helmut Kohl, who died in 2017. But there is no space for these verbal gaffes in the run-up to the presidential election. Things got worse on the 12th of July. This time, Biden referred to Vice President Kamala Harris as Vice President Trump.
Picked Vice President Trump to be Vice President, but I think she was not qualified to be President. So let's start there. Number one. The fact is that the consideration is that I think I'm the most qualified person to run for president. I beat him once, and I will beat him again.
While Biden's actions triggered panic among the Democrats, Trump's campaign was gaining momentum. On the 13th of July, there was an attempt to assassinate Donald Trump.
Take a look at what happened. Let me get my shoes on.
Hold on, your head is bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus.
And this incident elevated Trump to a hero status. The iconic image of Trump holding up his fist in the air with the American flag in the background galvanized his supporters. At the GOP convention in Milwaukee, the Republicans put up a united front. Even Nikki Haley, who was once seen as Trump's strongest competitor, put her weight behind Trump. Michael Whatley, the chairman of the Republican National Committee, celebrated Haley's presence as a sign that the Republicans are, quote-unquote, completely united right now, united like we've not been in generations. The Democrats, meanwhile, were seen pushing for a delay to nominate Joe Biden. Were they unsure of Biden's ability to lead the party to victory? On the 17th of July, Adam Schiff became the most high-profile Democrat to call for Biden's withdrawal from the race. In a statement, Schiff said it was time for Biden to, quote-unquote, pass the torch. And the same day, reports said Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer privately confronted Biden about his re-election bid. In private conversations, former Speaker Nancy Pelosi also reportedly told Biden that his staying on could impact the party in the presidential election and the midterms. Reports say House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries too confronted the president. The fear among the Democrats was that their other candidates may lose as well if Biden underperforms. The numbers were stacked against the Democrats. Polls after polls, Trump was seen leading against Biden. This was even before the assassination attempt. Also, after the presidential debate, 6 states showed a shift in the support base. Minnesota, New Hampshire, Nebraska's 2nd congressional district moved from likely Democratic to lean Democratic post-debate. Nevada, Arizona, Georgia moved from toss-up to lean Republican. And this, by the way, also explains why, in the hours leading up to Biden's public letter, reports suggested that former President Barack Obama, who was once Biden's strongest supporter, was now working behind the scenes to convince Biden to drop out of the race. So we are back to the question, did Biden really have a choice but to step aside? You see, it was all building up. In February, for example, the special counsel investigating Biden's handling of classified documents described the president as a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory, quote unquote. And the way Biden reacted to the report did not quite help.
That's
Do you feel your memory has gotten worse, Mr. President?
My memory is not good. My memory is fine. My memory, take a look at what I've done since I become president. None of you thought I could pass any of the things I got passed. How'd that happen?
One of the many reasons why Biden did not have a choice but to fall on his sword. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.